Welcome to another spiritual awakening. Welcome to Spiritual Awakening with yours truly, A.G. Green Sr. Let me know if you can see and hear me well. Let me know if you can see and hear me well. Good evening to our tribe. It's time to vibe. Let me know if you can see and hear me well. Let me know if you can see and hear me well. Thank you so much. I appreciate the feedback. So glad to see everybody on tonight. What an honor and a privilege it is to be with you, and you. I'm so thankful and grateful to have you in this spiritual and technological space. Let's pray. Almighty, we're so thankful and grateful for all things, great things, good things, wonderful things. We open ourselves up to you, to your guidance, to your instruction. We thank you as we submit all of our being, the intellect, the mind, will, the emotions. We submit our physical being. We submit our thoughts. We submit our imagination. We submit our ways. We're just so thankful and grateful for inner empowerment, developed awareness, and acute sensitivity toward growth. We thank you that the greatest of your will, your knowledge, your wisdom is done in us, with us, and through us. We remember the name, the power, the consciousness of Yeshua. It is so, and so it is. What's good, family? What's good? What's good? What's good? You know, the tag, text, and share. Text, tag, and share. And of course, on this platform, like, such as you can. And let people know that they're watching Spiritual Awakening with yours truly, A.G. Green Sr. Again, so glad to be on with you tonight. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe on social media, places like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, and YouTube. Put up a video recently on TikTok. I hope you've discovered it already. And I hope you've liked it and left a comment there. It's good for the algorithm. Again, I'm so thankful and grateful to have all of you all on tonight. I always like to remind you of what Ephesians 3:20 says. Now to him that is able to do exceeding abundantly, above all that we ask or think. It's according to the power that worketh in us. I want you to vigorously, yes, eagerly type in the comment section, I am powerful. And I want you to speak it out loud at least 3 times to yourself. I am powerful. I am powerful. Let the words of our mouths and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord. You are our strength and our redeemer. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Thou shalt also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and the light shall shine upon thy ways. Declare and decree in this moment that I am powerful. Come on, type that in the comment section. I am powerful. What a blessing, an honor, and a privilege it is to be born with inherent dynamic spiritual power. You are a divine spiritual being. You are cut from the same spiritual cloth as the creator, the source, the divine. You are not powerless. You are powerful. And if you are operating in a state of perceived and conceived powerlessness, you are producing powerlessness because you are a powerful, dynamic, spiritual species. Thank you so much. Typing in the comment section and speaking out loud to yourselves. I am powerful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We declare and decree great things are manifesting on our behalf. We declare and decree we are evolving, transforming, and ascending. We are evolving, transforming, and ascending. What's good, family? Tell me what's good. What's good? Checking in on you. How has your week been going thus far? Mine has been an interesting one. Nevertheless, I consider myself to be blessed above stress, blessed above any stress. I am here by the grace of the creator of the divine, and I'm so thankful and I am so grateful to be here. Tell me real quickly what's good. How has your week been going thus far? How has your week been going thus far? I decided to stream from a different room on today, and I wanted to be a little bit more comfortable and, just change the scenery just a little bit. But what's good, family? Tell me, how has your week been going thus far? Talk to me. How has your week been going thus far? I kind of shared with you a little bit about my week. Now you can tell me how yours have been going thus far. I got this Taster's Choice coffee. I don't think I'm going to finish it. I think I'm finished eating for the night as well. But tell me how your week has been going thus far. And while you're preparing to do that, don't forget that we will be meeting or convening 30 minutes earlier this coming Sunday, 30 minutes earlier. Instead of it being 11:30 Eastern and 10:30 Central, we'll be meeting 11 Eastern, 10 Central. And then this time next week, we'll be meeting 30 minutes earlier also. So instead of it being 8:30 Eastern time, which is where I am now, and 7:30 Central is going to be 8 Eastern and 7 Central. That's to give me an opportunity on my time zone to have, move it up 30 minutes earlier and be done by, within an hour, maybe hour, 15 minutes. All right. So what's good, Tim? How your week has been going thus far? Hillary says, finally recovered from being under the weather. Been enjoying the snow days with my babies. Wonderful, wonderful. Anybody else want to share how your week has been going thus far? How has your week been going thus far? Let's see, a little bum being stuck in the house. I am enjoying my time off from work. Wonderful, wonderful. It's my Chrissy. Anybody else want to share what's good? And how has your week been going? Talk to me. Talk to me. Let's see, our resident therapist, Pastor Cotton, says week has been pleasant and restorative. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you all for sharing how your week has been going thus far. And if you come back and watch this video on replay, and I'm still not sure on YouTube if people can see prior comments, like when I watch videos that have been recorded earlier on YouTube, typically when I go in to watch them, I can see former comments. Whether you see a comment or not, and you're watching this in replay, act like it's live. We want to hear. I still get notifications when people comment. And I am also interested in how your week has been going thus far. So don't forget to comment and let me know, even if you're watching this in replay. Again, thank you all for being so giving and sharing of your ideas. Don't forget to visit us at theaggreen.com. That's the hub and center of what we're doing. And also Divine Species Shop. And of course, if you have not joined us on Patreon, patreon.com/AG Green Now, or just look up AG Green Now, Revolution Inc. I'm sorry, on Patreon. Eventually, I'm going to, of course, change that name as we're preparing to uh, incorporate Revolution Inc., so forth and so on. You'll be hearing more about that. All right, we're going to get into some teaching. I want my our resident therapist, of course, to put up on the screen what number we are in the installment. I think we're continuing to discuss doing the work. And so we kind of want to see where we are in this particular installment. So I'm waiting on him to put that up for us on the screen. And we're going to have at it. I want my assistants to go to Romans 12 and 2, Romans 12 and 2, Romans 12 and 2, Romans 12 and 2. We'll use that as a thematic text on today. Romans 12 and 2. This is part 6. Do the work, the inner architecture of creation. Thank you for your guidance, creator, source, sustainer. Thank you. We remember Yeshua's name, his power is consciousness. It is so, so it is. Do the work, the inner architecture of creation. Do the work, the inner architecture of creation. This series was inspired last year, and the benefit that I have right now is when I was doing the traditional pastoral work for 25 years, uh, especially before I moved to Georgia, where I had a larger church. My days were quite busy, working 50 to 60 hours a week. And included in that were several hours of study. I also had a span of time during my pastoral tenure in Missouri, where I was also in school and earned academic degrees online. Uh, and typically, sermon preparation will be done during the week. On weekends, I typically was a week by week preparer of teaching. Week by week, I tried to get ahead. When I would do series, I would work in advance, but it was a little bit more difficult at the time because of the schedule that I kept back then. Now I have the luxury of some extra time in desiring to be in this space online full time with you and eventually expand to something physical where I am able to construct these teachings months in advance. So you're going to be, that's the beauty of that. And I get a chance to go over these teachings over and over, expand, do more research in the process of these extended series. Okay. So we are again discussing part six, do the work, the inner architecture, NIV Bible, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you will be able to test and improve what God's will is. Okay. It's good, pleasing, and perfect will, King James. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good, acceptable, and perfect will of God. Now, one thing I think I began to touch on maybe a couple of weeks ago on this subject is one thing you're going to discover, family, when you start doing the work is growth and expansion. Has anybody who has been doing the work, and doing the work didn't just start for you when this series started weeks ago? Many of you all have started doing the work years ago, maybe months ago, or even years ago. So let me ask you the question. As you have started doing the work, can you see uh, positive growth and positive change in your life? Or do you see positive growth and positive change in your life? I want to see your comments in the comment section. Since you've started doing the work, have you seen positive growth and change in your life? Let me see what your comments are going to be in the comment section real quickly. And again, we're on part six, do the work, the inner architecture of creation, the inner architecture of creation. This is a great way to start this calendar year off, a great way. And this is why I'm expending an extended amount of time teaching it. Okay, thank you for your answers. Very good. So we see some people who have experienced positive change. So what I want you to realize is this, and I do believe we are vibrational beings. We are energy beings. We're vibrational beings. We've had this conversation before. So just as you know you are doing the work, the creator knows, and this conscious universe knows. The creator feels as the conscious universe on the vibratory energetic level feels your change. But guess what? People closely connected to you also can sense and feel your change. And believe it or not, when we start doing the work, it's going to impact relationships. You know why? Because when we start doing the work and start experiencing positive growth and change, you're going to start outgrowing systems. I'm going to say it again. You're going to start outgrowing systems. And this is some sociological uh, insight or perspective that I'm giving you. Matter of fact, In order for you to grow and to expand, you're going to have to, or I should say, shift in your identity. You're going to have to outgrow the systems that formed you. I'm going to say it again. You're going to have to outgrow the systems that formed you. Now, the first system that we relate to, and I'm going to put up a chart in a minute, a diagram. I worked today and got you a couple of diagrams made. And I want to say I do want to put up more diagrams. It's just time consuming. And I'm looking forward to having some people collaborate with me on a team that I can just give them an assignment and give them the points and they can create a wonderful diagram because I really, really prefer when I teach to have supporting evidence that I put on screen. But we're going to get to that in a minute. The text says, be not conformed to this world. Okay. The systems, it's talking about the Greek word aeon, which means age or system. This is referring to cultural patterns. Cultural patterns start within where? Families. It refers to norms and assumptions. Cultural patterns, norms, and assumptions. Nicholas Christakis found or said, your social network shapes your behaviors, expectations, and outcomes, even without your awareness, end quote, from Christakis and Fowler 2009. What I want you to learn and begin to grow to understand is that you are changing. When you do the work, you're going to change. If you do the work correctly, you're going to change. So hear me. If you are a person who wants everybody to feel comfortable with you and is more willing to appease people to fit in than to tap in and access your own growth and development, this is going to be a challenge because at some point in time, as you are growing, as you are expanding, people are going to sense it, people are going to see it, people are going to know it, and not everybody's going to like it. I use myself often as a personal example that when I started shifting and growing, people started handling me differently. People started maybe viewing my view as a watered down, weakened type of view. This is when I was practicing what we call traditional Christianity. I'm more of a spirit, person who lives from a spiritual place with the Christ mind now. People will notice your opinions change. They will notice your philosophy change, your theologies change, your ideologies change, your conduct and behavior changes, your thought processes change. And not everybody will be readily accepting of that because some people want you to remain who you are in the culture, who you are in the family structure, who you are in the system, who you are in the spiritual ecosystem. All right. So doing the work has its consequences. I want you to type in the comment section, doing the work has its consequences. Type that in the comment section. Doing the work has its consequences. It has its consequences. Before I uh, get deeper into that, I want to quote something from a mystical source, the Gospel of Philip. I think I quoted this before, but I'm going to quote it again. The Gospel of Philip, an apocryphal text, says, the world is a corpse eater. The world is a corpse eater. What did he mean when he said that? That literally means, or it is a phrase that reflects the idea that unexamined systems consume living consciousness. Unexamined systems consume living consciousness. Systems like family systems, societal systems, religious systems, these are all systems. Okay. In the Gospel of Thomas, saying 56, it says, whoever has come to know the world has discovered a corpse. This is metaphorical language. In mystical Christianity, the world is not creation, it is conditioned identity. inherited belief, and unconscious social structure. I'm going to say that again. Conditioned identity. Everybody who's viewing me and listening to me has a conditioned identity. Inherited belief. We all have inherited belief. And unconscious social structure. We're all a part of a social structure and grew up in a social structure. Okay. So let's look at that a little bit more. I guess I could say from some studies real quickly before I put the chart up. Again, back to Dr. Nicholas Christakis, his landmark research on social networks revealed a startling truth. Okay. He goes on to say your social network shapes your behaviors, expectations, and outcomes, even without your awareness. I just quoted that. So there are things happening in our lives, family, without our conscious awareness beneath the surface, in the subconscious, and then what some also label as the unconscious. Okay. Check this out. What Christakis landmark research revealed. His studies showed that uh, obesity, you catch that? Okay. Type this in the comment section. I'm going to finish my sentence. Type obesity in the comment section. After you type obesity, type happiness in the comment section. Next, type divorce in the comment section. Next, type smoking in the comment section. Next, type success in the comment section. And lastly, type pessimism in the comment section. I'm going to go over it again. Obesity, happiness, divorce, smoking, success, pessimism. Guess what they have in common? You know what they have in common? They spread through networks like contagion. They spread through networks like contagion, like an infection, like a disease. So what this means for us, family, is that our current identity is not purely personal. It is an echo of environments you did not consciously choose. All of us were born into environments, and even if there are similar teachings or similar rules or similar guidelines, they're not all 100% the same, because the people who led those environments, who were responsible for handing out the guidelines, the philosophy, the theology in those environments, family, were not all the same. They're different. But did you see that Did you see that list, family? Obesity spread through networks. We eat the way we were raised to eat. We, from a genetic standpoint, and then from learned behavior, will weigh what we weigh based on many times our initial teaching is going to come from the environment we were raised in and how they treated their bodies and the foods they ate. Happiness. This, when I saw this, I was like, wow. When I saw this study, I was like, this is amazing. Happiness. If you come from a melancholy, sad, cynical family, if you're part of that, a distrustful family, it's going to be a part of you. Divorce is another thing. Well, I knew that being a counselor. Families, uh, again, model these behaviors, and the offspring pick them up and run with them unless they decide to make a conscious choice not to participate. Smoking, which is a habit, success, yes, success or failure. These things are part of networks. So if you see, this is it's the reason why you see some families, they're all lawyers. If they're not all lawyers, they're all professionals. You might have some children who become lawyers, others who become doctors. They're going to do something professionally because mom and dad were that, or mom and dad pushed that. I know families like that now. Pessimism, again, Same thing. Attitude. What we see in the family becomes a part of who we are. Okay. And it spreads through these networks. So I want you to understand where you inherited patterns from. Where you inherited patterns from. Let me put myself up on the screen here. Find the right one. That's not a good one. Nope. This is a better one. Let me see if I can take. I gotta take the. Let me get in here. I gotta take this frame off. Oh, it's in media as it's. Let me see. Here we go. Right here. Let me take this off the screen for a second. Thank you. Can y'all see that pretty well? Let me know if you can see that. Everybody, let me know if you can see that on your screen. Let me know if you can see that on the screen real quickly. I tried to make it big enough and bold enough for you to see that. And tell me what you think so far about the information that I'm sharing. We got to do the work. Okay. Our resident mystic is here, Wesley Turk. Pastor Turkey says he can see it good. Okay. Thank you. So we've got things like, let's start with family belief systems. Family belief systems. All of us family are part of a family belief system. And I'm going to say this. I started to preface this in the beginning. So let me go ahead and say it now. Nobody should be offended when we start bringing up the subject that I'm talking about now, especially with family. You know why? There's not one family that's perfect. I see people who get defensive about family systems and structures all too often when they know it's imperfect, when they know it's dysfunctional. It is right now what it is. As I was sharing with somebody recently, there's all kinds of people in my family, and I come from a religious family. Got murderers in my family, pedophiles in my family. Oh, you didn't know that? I've said this before from the pulpit. Okay, got hypocrites in my family, but got good, loving people also. People who are striving to live according to their interpretation or their belief in God's word. I have genuine, wholesome people in my family, but I also have liars. I also have people who are filled with pride. Okay? All kinds of people in my family. The Green family and people connected. All kinds. So maybe when I was younger, I might have had an issue, but I don't have an issue now. Okay? Now, I'm not going to sit around and let you run them down. Okay? But if you see something in my family that I have seen, why should I get upset about that? If you know something that's going on within my family that I know or do not know, but yet I know enough about the person to say, yeah, they probably did that. Why am I upset about that? I'm not. If I am living a character trait about my family that's not a good character trait, why would I get angry about that? I want you to really, really doing the work, believe it or not, begins with outgrowing systems. And the first system you usually have to outgrow is your family system. There's all kinds of limited, stinking thinking in all our families. And there's all kinds of ways that we don't want to participate in, attitudes we don't want to participate in, uh, uh, other foolishness we should not want to participate in. Don't get angry. Don't get pissed off. Just acknowledge it. It's there. You should you should want to be the kind of person who grows out of that, regardless of what anybody says or thinks. Am I making any sense? And hopefully a person like me who shows up in your life will inspire you to do what you should have already desired or what you have secretly desired. And I'm just giving you a license. I'm just confirming. Make that shift. Make that change, family. Make that shift. make that change. So what I want people to recognize is it's going to be the first system you have to acknowledge, the first system you have to address. Okay. You got your spiritual beliefs, your religious beliefs, your sexual beliefs, your financial beliefs. These are all also called values. You got all this from your family, and some stuff is good. Some stuff is good. Some stuff is great. Other stuff is trash. Other stuff is garbage. Why? I almost say hell, but I can't say that. Why in the world would you want to hold on to that? There are some things, and again, I have wonderful parents. They were not perfect. I have wonderful siblings. None of them are perfect. There are some things I've been taught. There are some things that have been done. And like I said, from good people. Now, I'm not talking about people who are rotten to the core. We got some of those too. No, I'm talking about people with good intentions. I don't want their ways. I don't want their thinking. I don't want their philosophy. I don't want to do it the way they did. I don't want to run my marriage the way they ran their marriage. I don't want to so much. And so if it's an area that's flawed, to incorporate that, to accept that, to incorporate that in my, I don't want to. It is not going to allow me to be the best version of myself. We got family belief systems. There's all kinds of crazy, strange belief systems. You got cultural narratives. Again, this is not just about family culture. This is about might be the culture of your neighborhood, because neighborhoods can be a part of huge cities and have their own cultures, even small cities and have their own culture. The black people have a culture, white folk have a culture. Some of these cultural narratives are not conducive for our development. They're not conducive for our transformation. They're not conducive for the ascension process. They're not conducive for you accessing or being able to access the best version of yourself. We get inherited patterns from religious frameworks. What religion has taught us, one of the most pervasive and visceral creations in the whole wide world. There's a lot of folk who will die with error in their hearts and die with faulty religion and die with faulty interpretations because they're caught in a system that they've decided is it. I'm going to stay blind to it no matter what you teach me, no matter what you say, no matter what you show me in science, no matter what you show me in evidence. Okay. We got all kinds of folk stuck in religious frameworks. Science has already proven some stuff is false. The unearthing of evidence has already proven some stuff is false. The evolution in understanding ancient texts has already given us better context, but people have decided, even if it's myth and fictitious, I'm going to believe it, because if it was good enough for my mama and my grandmama, it's good enough for me. And they're going to live in that shell. They're going to govern their marriages in that shell. They're going to treat other people from within that religious framework. There's a young man, he's now a bishop, and he was early in his marriage. I was instrumental in seeing his wife. I was at a church preaching, and I prophesied and saw his wife. This was several years ago. Good man, good woman. They're still married today. 20 some years, I think, in marriage. And the long and short of it is, so they, we were close for many years there, and they were having marital challenges. And there are multiple occasions when he called me and we need to talk. So one time, I think he came by my house. He's leaving again. And incidentally, it's not a good thing to just be leaving, but I know what that's like when things are new and fresh. People get flighty, and he was flighty. So bam, he left. He shows up at my house because he's angry. They arguing. And so we're talking. We sat out in the car. And he told me another friend of his who was a preacher, who later became a pastor, told him, listen, this is what you do. You tell her I'm the man at my house. And the Bible said, quote from the Bible, this, that, and the other, and you're going to do what I say. I looked at him, and at that time, family, I was in my, let me get this right, when this happened, late 20s. I think I was in my late 20s. So I'm a youngin, but I've always been advanced and mature. My uncles, I grew up around one uncle in particular, but multiple uncles, they taught me, they advanced me. And we're sitting there talking. Yeah, I was in my late 20s. I don't think I even started pastoring yet. I didn't start pastoring until I was like 30. And I said to him, you can't run your marriage like everybody else run their marriage. I said, what worked for that him, and I knew the brother who told him that might not work for you. I said, you need to run your marriage, your relationship in the way that works the best for you and your spouse. And when I told him that, his eyes got big. He took it to heart and started applying it in his relationship. These folk are still married today. Look, I think they're going on 30 years now. It's 20 some years deep, probably 22 to 25 years right now. But an opinion from a religious framework was deposited in him. What if he had not come to me? And although I was young, I was mature, I was balanced, I was seeking God myself with my whole heart, but I had foreknowledge. I had to tell him, you ain't gonna be married. This woman's gonna leave you. Am I making any sense? Everything you're taught is not right for you. Even if you read it in the book, even if you read it in the Bible, it don't mean it's gonna work for you. It don't mean it's gonna fit your situation. Matter of fact, again, a lot of this stuff is faulty anyway. You just don't know it. So I've seen religion, family ruin marriages, ruin families, ruin relationships. You got them at church, your kids at church 5 days a week. That's why as soon as they get old enough where they can decide if they're going to church for themselves, they don't go because you're drugging the church. You didn't give them a balanced life. You didn't give them a balanced background. You didn't give them a balanced upbringing. Oh Lord, I'm out here now talking. Am I making any sense to anybody? Talk to me, family. Talk to me, family. Talk to me, family. These are inherited patterns. Okay. The next thing is trauma responses. Trauma responses are inherited patterns. And again, they did studies on Jewish Holocaust victims. Remember, I discussed this maybe 2 years ago, and how they're seeing that it can be transmitted genetically. Okay. Well, I again equated that or uh use those same findings to say that people of African descent also have trauma. I believe that's transferred genetically as well. Okay. But in addition to genetics, there's learned behavior. So these are all inherited patterns. So we learn and change and modify based on the traumas we've seen, witnessed, or experienced, and even the traumas we've seen in other people. Another pattern. I want you to type it in the comment section. This is all about doing the work. Come on, type this in the comment section. This is all about doing the work. This is all about doing the work. Type this in the comment section. This is all about doing the work. Economic conditions. Economic conditions. I grew up, again, my father was a financial guru. Okay, quiet as is kept. His military training, and then he was, in my opinion, an intellectual giant. He read voraciously, he was highly educated, and that man could manage some money. But at the same time, there was there were a small amount of funds available in our household. We had the things we needed and desired, but there was a small amount of funds. So in many respects, and this is speaking respectfully, we grew up with a scarcity mindset. My mother had to deal with a small amount of money to feed all these kids, which was us, every week. And it impacted her. It impacted us hearing statements like money don't grow on trees and money being made a big condition or a big to do or a huge thing to us when it came down to needing money. So We develop patterns, scarcity patterns, a scarcity mindset, pinching pennies and and uh talking to money like it's God, and having to consult with money and feeling the stress like many of you all have experienced in your life based on economic conditions we grew up in. Okay. And when people grow up without nothing, when people grow up in the struggle, family, it affects you. You literally define yourself by money, by what you have and what you don't have. This is what's interesting me. Can I tell y'all something? Can I tell y'all something right quick? Can I tell y'all something? Let me say this. It's coming to me now while I'm talking. This is what I'm finding interesting about money. And I'm talking to me while I'm talking to you, because this revelation is coming to me right now while I'm speaking. How is it that I can define myself by how much money I have or don't have, which to me represents a fruit, which to me represents at times productivity? Watch this, which to me represents my legitimacy as a being. I certify and confirm that I am good if I have a lot of money, or I am important if I have a lot of money, or I'm worthwhile or worthy if I have a lot of money. Why is it that we are so captivated and so focused on defining ourselves by material things when you can't take any of it with you when you die? Why? Ask the Egyptians. They tried it. Only thing they got were raided tombs, pillaged tombs. Hear me. I'm going to say that again. Why? I'm going to tell you why. We are conditioned. We are conditioned to deify, to worship money, and define ourselves by the measure or the amount of money that we have. When you can't even take it with you when you die, it means nothing in the next world. It means absolutely nothing in the next life. Nothing, family. Did you catch what I said? Something for all of us to think about. The next one is racialized and social conditioning. Patterns come from racialized and social conditioning. Our resident therapist is on. I've mentioned this term before. He might remember it. What's the term that's uh we've got what do we call it? We've got um the trauma term related to when people have lived under duress, like who've gone to wars. As much as I know this term, I've used it several different times. Um, it's a trauma response. What is that? PTSD. There we go. Post traumatic stress disorder. What is the term that's associated with? There's a term associated with being black in this country that is also a trauma disorder. Find that for me, resident therapist. I can't recall the term right now off the top of my mind, as we say. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Growing up black in this country is different than growing up white for the most part. Now, I'm not saying there aren't situations that are similar, okay, where you got white folks that's poor and other ethnicities that's poor, like black folk that's poor. But let me tell you something. I'm just going to say this. I'm not talking about my personal philosophy. I'm not talking about uh, subtracting from the inner power that we are and that we possess to be able to overcome these things. This is not what I'm referring to. I'm talking about, hear me, the culture, the norms, the philosophy of the age. Okay. It is different for the most part, the way this system is designed. We're talking about systems too. It is different growing up poor black versus poor white in many respects. Again, I'm not using this stereotypically. Typically, white people with low credit scores and meager income, sometimes because of the whiteness, this system is designed, is systemic. Racism is systemic. So that means it's interwoven into the fabric of the system. This is the truth. Sometimes they're going to be able to access resources we can't access because of the color of their skin. Hear me. Hear me. So as a result of this racialized and also social conditions that you grow up in, it creates an ingrained pattern. It impacts your schemata. It impacts your paradigm when you grow up racialized under certain social conditions. You start thinking, because I am this color, I cannot have, which I do not perpetuate that teaching. I realize there's a system in place, but I also realize there's a me inside this body that's greater than this system. There's a power in me that I possess that should be able to take me above the system. Hear me. But for many, 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 many years, there was more of a focus on the hue, the HUE, the skin color, and what comes along with that in terms of stigmatization in a racially supremacist society versus the God in me, the God that I'm one with, the God that I'm a part of. Thank you, sir. It's called racial trauma or race-based traumatic stress. There you go. Race-based traumatic stress, RBTS, is the mental and emotional injury caused by encounters with racism, bias, and discrimination, often resulting in PTSD-like symptoms. I believe an African American female psychologist coined this and defined this term. So hear me. There is a stress that we can feel just because we are Black. I'm going to say it again. He's finishing the definition: hypervigilance, anxiety, depression, and physical pain. Did you see this definition? Mental and emotional injury caused by encounters with racism, bias, and discrimination, often resulting in PTSD-like symptoms, hypervigilance, anxiety, depression, and physical pain. Yes, hypervigilance. Always amped up about, because I'm Black, because I'm a Black man, because I'm a Black woman, they just gonna hate me up in here. Looking around and see when you stand in a line and white folks staring at you. Feeling uncomfortable in restaurants. Y'all hear me? Anxiety, just anxious, depressed. That's right. Realizing that the people who live across the street from you or across the aisle from you may live under the same economic conditions, but are able to access more support and help than you, because somebody in an office who's controlling everything may decide they don't want to help a minority. They may decide that they're going to withhold information from you that they're sharing with other people. Physical pain. Did you see this? Did you see this? Inherited patterns. Inherited patterns. I want you to type it in the comment section. We must outgrow all these patterns. Type that in the comment section. We must outgrow all these patterns. Wow, let me look at my time. I'm doing pretty good on time. We must outgrow all these patterns. And he goes on to say avoidance and identity issues. Absolutely. There are jobs we avoid applying for, places we avoid traveling to, places we don't even go into. I'm going to tell you, I've done it in the past. I don't stop just anywhere when I'm traveling. Let me get into it. Type it in the comment section. We must outgrow all these patterns. Let me continue on, I should say. We must outgrow all these patterns. If the greater one lives in me, I cannot allow myself to be limited by the social narrative that tries to make me inferior because of the color of my skin. We know from a historical basis the originators. We know from the historical basis the kings and queens. Hear what I'm saying? Sometimes that's not enough for people. You got to know who and what you are as a divine spiritual being. We got to outgrow all these patterns to the point that we control the situation before we interview. We control the situation before we ever enter, because we're not going to allow anybody to stop us. Hear me. We're going to use our divine ability to visualize and imagine that we received the position, or we received the access to the funds, or we received the loan, or we got the car. Hear what I'm saying? Whatever it is, regardless of gender, color, and sexuality. Am I making any sense to anybody here? Let me put this other diagram up on the screen for you. Identity is transmitted through family narratives. Number one, family narratives. In other words, every family has a narrative, aka a story. I'm gonna say it again. Every family has a story. They have a story that defines why their family is the way it is spiritually, religiously, physically, economically. It has a story, it has a narrative. It defines why they succeeded and why they didn't succeed. Okay. It defines why they cook food the way they do and why they don't. It defines what they eat and why they don't eat certain things. It defines what's their superstitions. It defines philosophies. Again, we as children are sponges, absorbing all this, even if it's crap, even if it's error, we're absorbing all this. Let you in on a conversation I was having, a private conversation with my son about something, my oldest, and I was just sharing with him how children pick up on the modeling of parents. I was having a psychological discussion with him, and I used my son Austin as an example. Now, Austin grew up watching. I'm not afraid of bugs. I just don't like them. But there are other people he grew up around who screamed and jumped when they saw bugs. Now, my beautiful 10-year-old, when he's with me and he sees a bug, I had to calm him down. But the reason he's like that is because he's been raised by some folk who, whenever they saw a bug, this was their reaction. And I was sharing with my son that our children even take cues from us about fear. This is what I was sharing with him. Because if the narrative family is that all bugs are icky and dangerous and you don't want to be around them, how else would he act differently unless he's taught differently? This is what he has seen. So when he's with me, I had to say, listen, it's nothing but a bug. I don't get overexcited. I don't get nothing. Now, there's certain bugs that I despise. I don't like mosquitoes. I hate mosquitoes. I hate roaches. I'm just going to be honest about that. You're dead if you any bug in particular. I like spiders. They're good creatures, but I just don't want one biting me. You know what I'm saying? So his philosophy, his response or his reaction, his conditioning as it relates to these little critters has been put in him. Cultural trauma. This is, again, you grow up with people who've been wounded, raped, molested, abandoned, despised, feel like outcasts, left out, treated like less than human. That when they develop trauma, it's passed on to you and how they handle you, how they deal with you. Some of this stuff, again, is passed on genetically. It's just in you and you don't know it. Okay, back to what we just discussed about the what our resident therapists put in racial trauma or race-based traumatic stress. Again, it's been proven that genetically these traumas, certain traumas, can be passed on to us. I believe that's some reason. That's a reason why sometimes Black folk are in situations and they're anxious and they don't know why they're anxious. It could be the expression of the DNA from your ancestor who was a slave, who had to live in a state of hypervigilance and live in a heightened state just to survive, who feared for their lives every day. Have you ever been in situations and you were fearful and you didn't know why? That's not always your spirit trying to warn you. I think that sometimes it is a genetic expression from an ancestor. Identity is transmitted through, as we discussed before, religious conditioning. It is transmitted through economic structures. We kind of discussed that a little bit about the family. Also, just adding to it, how society has painted a picture of its ecosystem, its economic system, excuse me, how you fit in that system, how your family fit, excuse me, now how you perceive yourself to fit. Do you believe loans are attainable to you or not? Do you believe your credit score will stop you or not? Do you believe your race or gender will stop you or not? Do you even know how to use credit? Do you even know how to build wealth? Are you taught that money is evil? Are you taught that money is scarce? Are you taught that only certain special people can have a lot of money? All right. And lastly on this list is racialized experience. And I just talked a little bit about that in depth. Okay. So what I want you to see is We've got to outgrow these systems. And let me leave you with a few thoughts here. Let me leave you with a few thoughts here, because I want to make sure that I don't leave anything on the table tonight that I need to come back and talk about. Okay. When you begin to change, systems react. Type it in the comment section. When I begin to change, systems react. Type that in the comment section. When I begin to change, systems react. I said that at the beginning. I'm re-emphasizing it again in a different way. Type that in the comment section for me. When I begin to change, systems react. Systems react. All right? Systems react. Thank you. Thank you. For example, families will accuse you of changing. You done changed. Oh, you got your little education now. You're talking more proper. Oh, you don't think like us no more. You don't. I remember when you had that same opinion. I remember you were all up in this. Now you don't have nothing to say. Now why you change? Why you this, that, and the other? Oh yeah, they will accuse you of changing. I'll never forget when I left home and went to St. Louis to pursue my first degree and in engineering. And I came home to visit. I think it was at Christmas time. I think it was Christmas. It was a holiday. It was Thanksgiving or Christmas. And I went down to visit some relatives. And they had, watch this, some chitlins. Now, what education does is it teaches you, if you really pay attention, and you all know I am a person who has an affinity and a love affair with words. I love words. I was reading the dictionary in the 6th grade. I don't know if I've ever told this story before. And I'll never forget she was a beautiful teacher, a beautiful soul. Her name was Miss Troop. And in the 6th grade, I had to do a report. And when the teacher read my report, she accused me. She accused me of, she said somebody else wrote it. And she also accused me of like taking it from another source and writing it, because the language was advanced, the vocabulary was advanced. I'm trying to remember if my parents had to step in or not, but my friends had to vouch for me. My friends, I remember them, some of them stood up for me and said, Anthony reads the dictionary in class. And uh, I was deeply inspired by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And then I heard a preacher called Bishop Chandler D. Owens, who was a wordsmith and an orator. I heard him for the first time in person. I was already enamored and captivated, and felt a sense of adulation when I heard Dr. King speak from the videos I would see on television. And then when I heard this wordsmith of a preacher in person, I started reading the dictionary after that. I needed to become that. And my point is, so I wanted to get pronounced words correctly. Well, I go off to school, I come back, and I walk in the house and I can smell the chitlins. And I say, oh, y'all eating chitterlings. Y'all eating chitterlings, because family, that's how it's really pronounced. Chitterlings, not chitlins. I thought I would pronounce it correctly. Did you hear what I just said? They said, "Oh, it's chitterlings now to you. Oh, you educated. Oh, it's chitterlings. It's not chitlins no more. No, it's just chitlins." I wasn't trying to show off an education. I was trying to correct my speech. I was trying to pronounce the word the way it was supposed to be pronounced. You hear what I'm saying? That was a knock on me, because I decided to pronounce it correctly. Catch that. So when your philosophy changes, when your beliefs change, the first people who are going to usually notice it is your family. You got to be prepared for that. You're doing the work and the change is becoming evident. The next point I want to make is communities may subtly punish growth. They may subtly punish growth. Family, we experience this in the African American community, especially among boys. Okay. If we knew our women were intelligent, we knew our girls were intelligent, and they many times were allowed to achieve academically. But if a boy was into his books, I don't know if that's still going on today. If an African American boy was seeking to polish his vocabulary and did his homework and made good grades, I came up in an era where, you know, that community didn't always praise you. You didn't fit into the crowd. You were considered to be a nerd. Okay. You were considered to be a know-it-all. Oh, he make all A's. He like them white folk. Oh, he can say his words correct. If you didn't use what they call at the time ebonics, or if you didn't use the cultural jargon, if you didn't use the slang all the time, but you could speak correctly and properly, you could be made fun of. So I want you to understand that communities have a way. Sometimes they'll withdraw from you. Sometimes they'll stop calling you. Sometimes they'll stop inviting you. Sometimes there'll be conversations they have that they won't have with you because they sense the change in you. Sometimes it's out of respect. Other times it's just they don't know what to do with you. Sometimes they just don't know what to do with you. It's just as simple as that. You know, in our family, since my sister said, yep, my sister, Pastor Janet Green, and I might as well be transparent, there were folk who had issues with my sister and me when I installed her as pastor, I don't know, 20 some years ago, however long it's been now. There were people who wouldn't even talk to her for a while. There were all kinds of conversations had about her in the family. And there was a form of punishment. Oh, she's changed. She's broken away from what they believe to be truth. Oh, now she's changed and walking in this, and he's changed and walking in this. Okay. You see what she says? Some still don't. Matter of fact, some invitations stopped coming because she became a female pastor. Lord have mercy. Check this out. Institutions may reward conformity over transformation. It is the truth. Conformity means to be alike. So in other words, conformity means that you have to follow the religious line. You have to follow the religious dogma. You have to follow the religion's teachings or the teaching of the religion. And you are rewarded because you're a good boy or you're a good woman if you do that. You're a good boy or you're a good woman if you do that. Okay. You're rewarded for that. But as soon as your eyes start opening, you start shifting and changing. Lord have mercy. I didn't know this was on 1080p all this time. Forgive me. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to reuse this video. It's been on 1080p, look like the whole time. I thought, well, I started with 1080. It's been on 480. It switched. That's what must have happened. It just switched. Okay. Uh, they will reward you for being the same as them. As soon as you become different, they don't understand you. That's when they start criticizing you. That's when they start persecuting you. That's when they start trying to destroy you because you're no longer fitting the way they think you should fit. You're no longer towing, as they say, the party line, the religious line. You're no longer teaching the same thing, which to them means you're different, which to them means you're in error. And this is in all walks of life. People will treat you differently when you start thinking differently. And we can name so many examples throughout the course of history. Mm, mm, mm. This is what I want you to see. This is a quote from Irving Gottman, and I'm going to be done. We're going to talk about deconstructing and inherited self the next time we come together. Let me put this in the comment section. Hopefully it'll all fit in there. Hopefully this will all fit in there. Can you see that on the screen, family? Let's see if there's anything else I need to cover. Let me do a couple more quotes from the Gospel of Thomas. A quote from the Gospel of Thomas in just a minute. We'll finish it off there. The self is not an entity, have hidden is not an entity, have hidden events, but a changeable product of social interaction, the presentation of self in everyday life. The self is not an entity, have hidden behind, events, behind events, but a changeable product. It's changeable. Everybody is changeable. Okay. I know I've had conversations with people down through the years, and I would have to remind people sometimes it would be folks who've committed horrific crimes. Then other times I would be talking to victims of trauma, and they just believe that people didn't have the capacity to change. I've been on the change bandwagon. I've been in the change ethos for years. I believe everybody is capable of changing, no matter how horrible they are. Okay. What I want you to see, I'm quoting from the Gospel of Thomas. If you do not fast from the world, you will not find the kingdom. Gospel of Thomas saying 27. I'm going to read it again. If you do not fast from the world, you will not find the kingdom. Fast from the world means to withdraw identity from unconscious systems. The text said, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Family, doing the work to become your future self, family, requires courage. Requires courage. Doing the work to become your future self, family, requires courage. To change and to shift requires social courage. You must be courageous. Who knows? This may be my last video. I may die tonight. I don't know. But if you don't remember anything I said throughout the course of this teaching, remember it requires courage to shift. It requires courage to grow. It requires courage to become better. It requires courage to realize that not everybody will appreciate my growth, my expansion, my increase, my evolution, transformation, and ascension. Not everybody will understand my alignment with the creator, with the source, with the sustainer. Not everybody is going to appreciate that I am a better me now. My peers might not like it. My coworkers may not like it. The neighborhood I live in may not like it. Your siblings may not like it. Your family, cousins, uncles, some of them might not like it. Your religious community may not like it. Your hobbyist group that you're a part of may not like it. It requires courage. I want to encourage people right now. I want to encourage you right now to exercise the courage it takes to become the best version of you. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed. World, don't be conformed to this age, to the narratives, norms, and the customs. It goes on to say, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Listen, to prove what is the good, acceptable will of God within the framework of all that is, what is the highest level, the highest realm, the highest dimension that the Creator can see you in right now? Don't you want to go there? Don't you want to live? Don't you want to be there? Don't you want to abide there? Am I making any sense, friend? Hear me real clearly. It takes courage to follow your convictions. It takes courage to decide I'm going against the grain. I've never seen this before, close up and personal. I've never done this before. I've never witnessed this before. I am a little fearful. I am a little scared. But listen, greater is calling. Shandadadaba. Type it in the comment section. Greater is calling me. Come on, type it in the comment section. Greater is calling me. Abraham was calling Abram. That was his former name. Israel was calling Yaakov. Hear what I'm saying today? That was his former name. Israel was calling in English Jacob. It's calling. It's calling me. It's calling you. This is why you're wrestling with change. This is why you can't be satisfied knowing that that there's greater for you intellectually, greater for you spiritually, greater for you physically, greater for you vocationally, greater for you relationally. It's calling. You've got to do the work now in order for this to be the greatest calendar year of your life. It is calling you. It's why you're sleepless. It's calling you. That's why you can't settle for less. It's calling you. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going globally. You don't have to go globally to have a calling in the same. It could be locally, but it's calling you because you haven't even entered that space. Greater is calling you. I am a firm believer that we are tethered and attached to every version of ourselves. And I honestly believe that we get ripples, sometimes direct communication from the higher versions of us, which is operating in a greater dimension, a greater realm, a greater state of consciousness that is calling us in dreams, calling us in visions, calling us into our imagination, within our imagination, to say to us, this is where you belong. This is who you are. Access what I have now. Access who I am in this place, in this space. Ooh, I feel this. I feel this. Almighty, I thank you and praise you now for those who watch. Give them the courage, give them the energy, the strength, the confirmation to do the work. Give them vision, stimulate their imagination. Yeah. Let something fresh move on the inside of them to stir them no matter what it takes. I'm going to read that text every day. No matter what it takes, I'm going to read every day. I'm going to read the scripture. I'm going to study no matter what it takes. I'm going to work, whatever it is, no matter what it takes. I'm going to start that business. I'm going to do a little something every day in that business. No matter what it takes, I'm going to pray more consistent. I'm going to meditate more. No matter what it takes, I'm going to enroll here. I'm going to take courses. No matter what it takes, I'm going to get involved in this. No matter what it takes, stir them to do the inner. Ah, my God. Yes. Give them the courage to forget those things which are behind and reach forth to those things which are before. Give them the courage to dare to be different by growing, to dare to be different by making that investment within the deepest, innermost portions of thy identity. Mm. And I give you praise because I'm speaking to greatness right now. I'm talking to greatness. I'm talking to shifters and changers and catalysts and transformers. And I declare and decree that you are awakened and you are coming forth. Shatataba. Even as I speak, you are coming forth. You are emerging from that cocoon as a transformed, dynamic, spiritual being who's moved up in consciousness. And I praise you. Thank you. Thank you for the inspiration, the name, the authority, the power of consciousness. I want you to type this in the comment section. I am that greatness. I have been designed. Type that in the comment section. I am that greatness. I have been designed to be. Type that in the comment section. I am that greatness. I have been designed to be. I am that greatness. I have been designed. Type that in the comment section. Tell me what you thought about the class tonight. Yes, I did go over. Okay, choppy. Thank you. I am that greatness. I have been designed to be. Thank you for that. I am that greatness. I have been designed to be. Is that better in terms of the sound? I am that greatness. I have been designed to be. Own it. Walk in it. It is now your identity. You want to give your offering during spiritual awakening? You can do that tonight. Use the giving platforms you see at the bottom of the screen, PayPal, AG Green Enterprises at Gmail. Or you can use Cash App, $AG Green. That'll come directly to me. Or $AG Green Enterprises. All right. You can give now as you desire to give, or you can give later as you receive funds to do so. I appreciate you for all of the offerings and all of the gifts that many of you give in doing the best that you can consistently. And others who are desiring, it's going to happen for you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Thank you for your feedback, our resident therapist. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you so. I'm going to release you. Any other comments before I go? Love y'all so dearly. So don't forget, on Sunday, we will be on at 11 Eastern, 10 Central. 11 Eastern, 10 Central is when we will be on. Okay. And don't forget, as you are applying these teachings and seeing results, come back and tell us. Come back and testify. Your testimony is an inspiration. It's an inspiration and lets people know that it works. And as it is possible for you, it is possible for them. All right. I think my voice might be getting a little choppy. I'm going to release you tonight with the Shalom blessing. Release you tonight with the Shalom blessing. Let's see here. Maybe I can adjust this a little bit. I'm going to release you tonight with the Shalom blessing. Shalom, shalom, peace, wholeness, and prosperity. Nothing missing and nothing broken. It is so, and so it is. Love y'all. See you soon. Thank you for being a part of this journey of awakening and transformation. Support the Light Through Revolution, Inc. by liking, sharing, and giving. Cash App, $AG Green, and $AG Green Enterprises. You can also give by Zelle. Anthony G. Green at hotmail.com is what you use. And Chime, $Anthony/Green/336. If you haven't joined as a member of Patreon, now is a good time. We're a spiritual community that's evolving, transforming, and ascending. If you like what you have seen and heard, connect with us. It's time to vibe with your tribe. Also, take time to visit theaggreen.com for the latest developments, and just explore divinespeciesshop.com for spiritual tools to elevate your life. Your love and support helps keep this mission alive.